Good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Champaign, Illinois. You're joining me for our continuing playthrough of The Secret of Langton Manor. We're up to episode 2 here, but before we start, let me check in with the chat, and I'll give you a little update on our schedule going forward here. This is our month of spooky, scary games, which has been accompanied by some spooky, scary flu, which has waylaid me. So we're trying to get back on schedule. I still have a bit of a cough. Here's what we're going to do. Today we're going to play episode 2. Then we're going to have a break tomorrow, unless I feel like I can squeeze in a tabletop mystery game news segment, which needs to be done soon because there's a lot of crowdfunding games to talk about. So we may have a tabletop mystery game segment tomorrow at some point. Then on Friday, we're going to resume playing Mockery Manor, and that may be a long session. I think we'll try to finish Mockery Manor, although we're going to have a big long recap at the start of it to remind us where we were last week. Then, if we need to continue that on Saturday, we will. I've talked about whether I would do a channel update on Saturday, but I think I've reconsidered that. I think we have enough scary games that I shouldn't try to squeeze in a channel update in the middle of our October. So Saturday is being held as a buffer. We'll either continue playing Mockery Manor or do something else. Then on Sunday, we'll have our Dear Holmes Play by Mail segment, and I'll push off the channel update until the very end of the month. The week after this weekend, we will, I think, resume and finish off Langton Manor. Does that sound reasonable? The month of spooky coughs. Has anyone checked out the Columbo Watch It for Days channel that I've been recommending? I'm curious if any of you have. I was just listening to it, watching it, listening to it as I go to sleep this afternoon. Okay, so episode 2, episode 3, and 4 are off to the side. We don't need them. The rules for all the episodes are the same, but here we've got a little recap of our story. Let's read that. So remember, this is a $10 print and play game. If you've watched the first episode and think this is a game for you, you may want to stop watching and purchase it yourself. Otherwise, we do plan on playing the full set. Okay, first episode was free, though. These I have purchased. I do want to thank the generous Patreon supporters of this channel. You know who you are. You make this stuff possible. Okay. Is not required. So these are fairly standalone episodes, although there is a continuing story. At the end of our last story, we went into the basement, and the butler is clearly some sort of devil worshiper or something. Okay. In the first episode, set in 1922 England, you arrived at Langton Manor after receiving an invitation from your friend John to help restore his recently inherited estate. The butler, Samuel, greeted you outside and under mysterious circumstances locked you in the deserted house before vanishing. Inside, there was no sign of John or anyone else. Exploring the house, you found John's notes recounting strange events since taking over the estate. One note detailed a portrait of a woman with her eyes eerily painted over, described as devoid of eyes. Another note described a dream where the butler warned John against exploring the basement, suggesting that something ominous was lurking there. The mystery deepened with small, unexplained footprints leading to the basement door. Driven to discover the truth, you opened it and descended into the darkness below. I can see this cough is giving me trouble. Maybe some carbonated soda. Let me test my little scene if I start to cough. If I click this button here. All right, you can't hear me cough when that is on. So that's my emergency dump button to save you from hearing coughs. Okay, it's just a little tickle in my throat. But, all right, so it says to start the game, it works just like all the previous episode. To start the game, we flip this over. This will be our first page, but it says to go to the app to start off the game. Okay. Okay, we have played it. Oh, we need the app. We're on the website. Okay, episode 2 called Roots. Dial in the combination, tap it on the lock to verify it, and we can get hint 1. Okay, so I guess we're just meant to flip this over, and we're on page 2. Okay, so lots of cutting. I wonder what it would be like to play this in silence. Like, what if we tried playing one of these games where I didn't talk at all? We just read things together. Expedition log. Arthur W. Rutherford. Date February 15, 1842. All right, so now we're in the far past. Location Uruk, Mesopotamia. First day in Uruk, Samuel, my loyal butler, joins me in exploring these historic grounds. We've identified several potential dig sites among the ruins. This log will capture our journey and the remarkable findings we hope to uncover. So Samuel, 80 years in the past, is accompanying the previous owner, I think, of the manor. Samuel doesn't appear to age. Okay, we have a tree, but it's not a puzzle. It has no symbol. It's just some information. Before me stood a surreal sight. A massive tree with its roots embedded deep into the house's foundation. Branches sprawled across the ceiling, forming a living web in the dim light. How could a tree thrive in this sunless space? And there's a key here, whatever that means. All right. There, amidst the ancient ruins of Uruk, stood a man I recognized instantly. Samuel. I had just seen him yesterday, looking no different than he does in this photograph taken 80 years ago. Could this be his father or an ancestor? And then we do have a puzzle of the cupboard. Hidden behind the staircase, I found an old cupboard inside a coffin-shaped box. Caught my eye. Yeah, no kidding. Tucked behind it were a page from an expedition log and an old photo. It is odd that it's hard to know the order of these things, so I guess we're meant to get this first. And then we found in there this page from a log, an expedition log, and this old photo. And then this is us remarking on this photo. This is us in 1922 remarking on this photo saying, hey, we just saw Samuel. And here he is. We recognize him from this 80-year-old page. And then we're also seeing this, I guess. All right, well, how are we supposed to solve this puzzle? It doesn't seem like we have enough to solve it, but that's okay. Because it told us to take the next page 3. All right, we found an old doll. I found something unsettling within a dark hollow in the tree's large trunk. An old tattered doll, its fabric deteriorated by the ravages of time. Most disturbingly, it was headless. oh, this cough. All right, so we're meant to do some cutting here. I'm not thrilled with this. This looks like a folding puzzle. Oh, here are the instructions. I mean, okay, what? I don't even know if this is correct, but assuming it is, like, there's one side of it, there's the other side of it. What are we supposed to do with this thing? This is telling us how to fold it. Seems to be showing me the other side with its lapel. And that's the right shape. All right, what do we do with this now? The only puzzle we have is this cupboard. Coffin shape. Okay, here's the coffin shape. We've now got a coffin-shaped doll. Okay, what are we supposed to do? Are there numbers hidden in it? There's circles. Oh, there are numbers, I guess. I guess those are numbers. I guess it's 609 or 6069. But I guess the big letters are these here, 609. Although there is what looks like a 6. All right, let's just try the 609 and see what happens. It is shaped like a coffin. So there's the puzzle. Can you see this? Yes, 609. Let's see what happens. Okay, that was it. Upon noticing the doll's shape and size matched the box perfectly, I opened it and discovered an old photo, another page from the expedition log, and a small clay tablet. Take the next page. And take the next page. Okay, so we have 2 new sheets. All right, an old photo he discovered. Another page from the expedition log, which is this. I guess this is on the other side of the photo. Captured during a brief break from my expeditions, a precious moment with my beloved Eleanor and our sweet Lily. Okay, and this is Rutherford on August 1849. Look at our eyes. That's creepy. All right, and here's the expedition log entry. February 25th, so 10 days after the last one. Ziggurat of Uruk dig site. This reconstruction illustrates the ancient city at its zenith. It depicts the grand ziggurat, the pyramid, towering above Uruk with its layered tiers stretching toward the heavens. Once a temple to the gods and the heart of the city, only its foundations remain today. We have chosen them as our first excavation site. Okay. And then I found an ancient clay tablet in the box, inscribed with Babylonian cuneiform numerals, arranged in a 3x3 grid. Okay, so it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, if I'm just counting the triangles. All right, and then the next page, it looks very similar in structure to episode 1, where we now have a map of the basement. And we now have 2 more puzzles in addition to the map. Let's take a look at the map. So we went down the stairs. We're in the basement. And what do we see here? A still room, a store, the butler's chambers. No way to get in there. The tree. It looks like that tree we saw is blocking the entrance or something. Servants' hall, kitchen, pantry. Okay. The store door, that's this door to get in here. I stood before a locked door, its aged wood secured by a metal bar and a complex lock, adorned with 3 symbols. The presence of such a lock suggested valuable secrets inside. Okay, and there's the prompt for this lock. And then we have a collapsed ceiling. The corridor here is this area here has been collapsed. The ceiling collapsed. Corridor was blocked by a large pile of rubble from the collapsed ceiling, requiring more than mere hands to clear. All right, so 2 puzzles and then extra information. Okay, well, I'll tell you what jumps out at me. This and this, what do you see? What do you notice? What does it remind you of? What cipher does it remind you of? Does anything jump out? Because now that I look at this and I look at this, immediately a cipher jumps to my mind. Pigpen, that's right. Which we learned is a more general form called Rusticrucian or something. So in other words, this shape here is what you get if you look at this quadrant. So that's a 1. Then this shape is what you would get if you looked at the center here. And I believe we're looking at a 9 there. 3, 3, 3. Unless there's a different way to read it. I think it's just the triangles though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is going to be 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so they just go from 1 to 9. Okay, and the last one here is what's in this little area here, which is a 3. So I believe the key to the storeroom is 193 with valuable secrets inside. Let's give it a try. All right, so we're looking at this puzzle here. And I claim it's 193. Upon unlocking the storeroom, I was met with a dense collection of historical artifacts. Ooh, that's exciting. Okay, so we've solved this one, but we haven't done this. But it has sent us along to the next page. Whoa, look at this storeroom. Holy cow, look at that. That's gotta be invaluable. All right, that's exciting. I'd just like to go upstairs, take the treasures and go upstairs and be done with this devil. Samuel. I think we just call it a day. Take those treasures and call it a day. So we've got a shovel here, obviously. What we're going to do with this shovel, I'm not 100% sure. I was gonna say this might be a fun game to play with kids with all this cutting, but I don't think this story is really suitable for kids. Okay, so we've got ourselves a shovel. What does it say? I discovered a shovel. Exactly what I needed for clearing the rubble outside. However, I still required something to transport the debris away. So it sounds like we're not going to be able to handle the debris puzzle here until we get some more stuff. But look, looks like maybe the shovel is going to fit in here somehow. And then something else is going to go in and cover up more numbers. All right, so let's put this with this. I don't think we're ready for that yet. This looks like it's a puzzle. Look at this. Look at all those things there. So we've got something in either corner. It's the same symbol though, so probably a symbol for a puzzle. Are these numbers that we can read? Yes, it looks like theoretically we could read these numbers, yes. Okay, so you might imagine that we're going to try to identify 3 objects that will give us 3 numbers. Let's see if we can make sense of that. April 9, 1842. Location Al-Qura, Port, Euphrates River. Today marks the beginning of our journey back home. Our findings from Uruk, including the 3 alabaster ziggurat models, are securely packed in wooden crates and being loaded onto a flat-bottomed riverboat. This sturdy vessel will carry us to Basra, from where we will embark on our journey across the seas to England. Okay, so 3 alabaster ziggurat models. So we're looking for 3 little pyramid temples. So I see one here, I see one here, and maybe one here. One, 2, 3. Now, do we have to care about the order? Let's just write them down first. We can read it. Okay, so it looks like our first number is 8. And then what have we got here? It looks like a 1 and a 3, if I'm not mistaken. Are there any other ziggurat models that I'm missing? No, just 3. So you think we just do them in order? I mean, there's lots of orders possible, right? You could go highest shelf to lowest shelf, left to right. We can try 8, 1, 3 and see if it works. Any sign that there's some order on here? No. All right, let's just try putting in 8, 1, 3 and see what happens. So we've got this puzzle. Is it this puzzle? No. It's this puzzle. Whoops. This puzzle. We're going to try 8, 1, 3. If it doesn't work, we'll figure out what we've done wrong. I felt I was very close to the right solution. I knew the 3 ziggurat models were the key, but maybe their order was wrong. Okay, so it does say try again, so that isn't quite right, but it's given us a hint. All right, how about smallest to largest? Let's read this for another clue. So it turned the lock, but it was wrong. Okay, is there any clue here? Not really. 3 models securely masked in wooden crates. All right, so this feels like, you know, you could come up with your own ordering, but if you were going to do them by size, Is that the more sensible thing, to do them by size, by shelf, by number? It's a little odd, isn't it? Well, let's try by, but if you do it by size, this is clearly the smallest, but which one's bigger, this one or this one? I don't like this kind of puzzle unless there's some clear hint about the order. I don't like when there's multiple reasonable answers. If I had to guess, I guess I'd go by size, but where is the puzzle's here? Is this a key to it? Is it want the biggest one, then the smallest one, then the medium one? And we can't even tell. Count the levels. That's not a bad idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On the one on our far left, perhaps. And this one, a little hard to really see, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one has more levels. And then this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, well, I am not happy with this kind of puzzle, but I guess if I had to guess, this one would have the least, then this one, then this one. So let's try 831. 831 going by layers. That makes sense. Now it won't open at all? How does that make sense? How does it make sense that when we did 813, it said you're close, but the order is wrong, and then when I try a different order, now it doesn't work at all. What nonsense is that? All right, let's look at a hint. There's connection between the artifacts and what is described. Yes, we know that. Notice that most of the artifacts are numbered. Find the 3 ziggurat models on the shelves. Order is top to bottom. That's so stupid. There's 2 stupid things here. The first one is that the order is just as arbitrary, top to bottom, rather than left to right. But then the fact that in some orders, it gives you a hint about having it right, but in the other orders, and the other orders, it doesn't. Okay, so I guess it wants this one, then this one, then this one. So 3, 1, 8. In one of the boxes on the floor, I discovered an additional page from the expedition log, along with some botanical notes written by Samuel. Okay, well, that's creepy. Take the next page. All right, so Samuel has written us some notes here. I don't like that. I don't like anything to do with Samuel. All right, so botanical notes written by Samuel. Let's start with the log, though. Date April 5, 1842. Location Ziggurat Ruins, Uruk. We made a striking find in the ruins today, a collection of ancient seeds, preserved with an utmost care. Samuel, intrigued by their uniqueness, has packed some for transport to England, leaving us wondering what secrets they may reveal when grown. Okay, that's creepy. And here we have information on some of the seeds, I guess. And we're told Samuel wrote this. Samuel's notes, November 1842. Desert dandelion. Remarkably resilient, these desert plants have adapted well to our soil, ideal for stomach ailments. I have experimented with brewing them into a tea, as per the suggestion of Thomas the gardener. Foxglove. These seeds flourished surprisingly well. The vibrant purple blooms are a sight to behold, known for strengthening the heart. Foxglove must be handled with care due to its potent nature. Milk thistle, common plant with distinctive leaves, known for supporting liver health. Lavender, this particular variety of lavender, a rare species we brought back from our explorations in Mesopotamia, has flourished in the garden. Its calming fragrance is perfect for soothing a troubled mind. I often suggest placing a sprig under one's pillow for serenity. And then, gulp, unknown seeds. Among our Uruk specimens, these unrecognizable seeds stand out. All attempts to grow them in both garden soil and greenhouse have failed. I've taken to studying them under various conditions, hoping to unlock the secret to their germination. Are these the seeds that like to grow in darkness? That's creepy. All right. What have we got here? The still room. In nature's grasp, 3 cures lie deep and sound. For heart's strong beat, where life's pulse is found. For troubled mind, when thoughts do ache and pound. For stomach's woe, where quiet peace is crowned. In the Manor's still room, there's a still for reducing alcohol. In the Manor's still room, where essences were distilled and remedies were once brewed, I found a parchment hidden among the bottles near the large distillation apparatus. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got references to these. So it looks like it's probably 3 digits it's telling us. The first is for heart's strong beat. Okay, what was good for your heart? Liver, strengthening the hearts. So this is foxglove comes first here. And then the troubled mind is the lavender. And then next is for the stomach, which is the desert dandelion. I think this is giving us the order of these. And now the question is, how do we get numbers from these? So this is our 3rd digit. And our 1st digit. And then our 2nd digit is the mind. Now, what do you think? Do we count these? But it's got to be digits. So are we counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? And this one just a 1. What would you count for this one? Or is there a number hidden in each of these? Desert dandelion, Taraxacum desertorum. Resilient, these desert plants have adapted well to our soil, ideal for stomach ailments. I've experimented with bringing them into a tea, as per the suggestion of Thomas the gardener. We have to get numbers out of these. How are we doing that? Is there a number drawn in here, hidden? Is it the number of stems? Is there a word here like RHSW? Is this a 3? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It says, I think we've seen these on previous components. That's a very clever observation. So we have 3 journal entries. Are they exactly these? There's our lavender. There's our desert, and there's our foxglove, and there's numbers next to them. Okay, very good work, Jonathan. So this was 1. 1 was the foxglove. Well, actually, this is milk thistle. Here's our lavender. Okay, so if we look at these, they do have numbers associated with them. Our first one is foxglove, which is right here. That has the number 3. Okay, and then the desert dandelion has the number 1. And then the lavender, that's pretty neat, has the number 7. That means in order we have, if we go by the order of this, that we have 3, 7, and dandelion is 1, 3, 7, 1. Okay, so in the still room, 3, 7, 1. Inside the still room, I discovered a star map of the Taurus constellation. Nearby, among the shelves of old bottles and vials, another expedition log page was tucked. All right. Let's take the next page. All right, let's take a look at our log page here. March 6, 1842, location, Iana District Ruins, Uruk. We discovered 2 impressive bull statues today alongside a bas-relief depicting the Bull of Heaven, an ancient symbol linked to the Taurus constellation. Samuel, with his interest in all things celestial, was captivated. He has made detailed sketches he believes may decode the star patterns surrounding this celestial beast, potentially unveiling Sumerian astronomical secrets. Okay. This looks like it's saying A is B, C is X. Then we've got our star symbols. Okay, we found the expedition page. We found a puzzle, the servants' hall entrance. Bull statues flanked a door that seemed too grand for its purpose. It was adorned with a bas-relief featuring a star constellation, hinting at a hidden way to unlock it, possibly connected to the stars' alignment. And then here is constellation Taurus in some fashion. And then we see some symbols here, 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 here. Well, if you look at this, it's here and here and here. And then there's a mention of this and beta. Where's that? These two are somehow connected. A is B, and this one and X are connected. It looks like there's some dashed lines here, like almost as if it wants me to cut these out. And put them on top of each other. I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but we can always tape it back together. It almost seems like it's trying to say, like, put this on top of this. This on top of this. Not sure how that helps us, though. Well, this is the puzzle. So somehow we need a 3-digit answer to this puzzle. And this is what we have. Any thoughts? So this would be 3 digits here. So if we could assign a number to this, a number to this, and a number to this, that would give us 3 digits. How would we do that? And what does this mean? There's some weird things here, right? There's like lines going this way. There's a line going this way. There's lots of these lines. And then there's a ball lying down. Put the points together like a Mad Magazine fold in. Well, I can't put this one together with this one like a Mad Magazine fold in, but I mean, you could try to fold it in a way. I mean, you could try to do something like that. I'm not sure what that gets you. These two, they say, are equal. What does that mean, that they're equal? Okay, what if it's saying this? Okay, here's an idea. It's saying each of these symbols generates a digit. And it's saying when you figure out the formula for digits, you're going to find that this guy has the same value as this guy. And this guy has the same value as this guy. And that should give you a clue. So this one, however you calculate the value, has the same value as this one. How do you get a value out of this point? What's the idea here? How do you get a value for each of these symbols? In this case, though, these symbols seem to be directly talking about certain stars, whereas all our other symbols that we care about are out in the middle of nowhere. John says it's time for us to take a break. Okay, we'll take our first break. I'll see you in 8 minutes. All right, we're back. Couple suggestions in the chat. Jonathan says, let's set a timer. And when the timer runs out, we'll get a hint so that we don't spend 2 hours on this like I normally do. Optional choices. I'm wondering about the orientation of the symbols. Well, it looks like there is one orientation that brings everything upright, and that is this orientation. When I do it like this, these four symbols, sorry, these three symbols are all upright, and so are all the rest. There's the A, there's the B, there's the C, there's the X. So this is the orientation according to this. According to this. So that's the first answer, which is a good question. But this is the orientation here. Now, I'm thinking it has something to do with the overlapping the two pieces and then counting the number of visible stars. If it's something like that, we may need to fully cut around the border for it to work. Let's see what we observe first. Like, what exactly are we looking at? What's around the border? Doesn't look like there's no... It is interesting that in the middle is these dotted lines. But they're not really cut lines. I have cut it. And then what are these stripes? What exactly are they? Hard to know. The stars are all the same, but they are different sizes. Then what is this picture of a bull we're looking at? It's got curly hair, ears. And it could reference something on this card for all we know. We know there's something on this card that also gets connected, so I don't see how. So I like the idea that every symbol has a... I like the idea that this is our solution, 3 digits, and that for each of these symbols, we are going to get a digit from 1 to 9. And I like the idea that what this hint is telling us is when you figure out the formula for how to assign a digit to each symbol, that the answer you get for A is going to be the same answer you get for B. The answer you get for C is going to be the same answer you get for X. But that may be wishful thinking. If we connect these in order, we get a line that looks like from here to here. No, sorry, from there to there to there. No. Yeah, from here to here to here. Does that cut through something that we should care about? This certainly doesn't. Of course, this could be saying something else. This could be telling us how to align them. We have these other lines that are cutting through. In addition to these. I think the stripes are supposed to represent a column. Do you have any other components we can combine? Do we? Not really. Except for this. How we would combine this. So, reading this text, it says we've found 2 bull statues. Alongside a bas relief of the bull of heaven. That's what this is, the bull of heaven. An ancient symbol linked to the Taurus constellation. Very strange. I don't think we need to know anything else. We don't have to know anything else about the Taurus constellation. We don't need any exterior information. These are just floating out there in space. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, this is the hardest puzzle we've had in this whole set so far. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Doesn't really make sense in terms of making this equal this. Although 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's wrong. That doesn't work. Almost worked. But I don't, even if that worked inside here, how would it work outside here? All right, I guess we're going to have to take a hint here. I mean, we don't have to. In normal gameplay, we would sit here for 2 hours studying this, but I think we've decided with this game we're not going to do that. All right, I have 4 minutes left on the 15-minute clock, so we're going to keep looking at it for 4 more minutes. It is odd that these two symbols are right at the tips of these two horns. This one's at this ear. This one's at this, maybe at his eye. Doesn't really help. If you go from a straight line from A to the first astrology symbol, could it be the number of stars you go through? I'm not even sure how to make sense of that. And I don't know how it would make sense of this. Can you rotate the bottom on the top to line up to match the equations? Yeah, I tried that a little bit. It almost works. Not quite, though. But if you sort of line it up, you get something like this. You try to line up A with B, you get something like that. I mean, you can almost line up this S with this X. But then what do you get? Like, how does that help you figure out what digit this is, what digits these are? And this orientation, everything like this, is the only one where all of these are right side up. Oh, strange. Hold it to the light. I don't know how to make any sense of it. Like, holding this to the light doesn't make any sense. If we do it like this, it still doesn't make any sense. All right. What's happening here? Oh, I guess we got to go select this puzzle. So we're going to say that we're working on the servant's puzzle. And we're going to ask for a hint. Is there a reason the star map came in two pieces? It didn't come in two pieces. It just came like this. I cut it because it has this dash line. It has a line down the center that suggests that something might be folded or whatever. Okay, here's our hint. Look at Samuel's equations from the expedition log of 6 March. Let the celestial pairs guide you, aligning the stars of each equation. Observe how the heavens partition. So it is telling us to somehow combine these and use this to partition. So A with B. I'm just not getting it. Okay, let's take another hint. Fold the map so each two stars in each equation end up joined. The folds will divide the map into sectors. Count the number of stars in each sector. Fold the map so that each two stars in each equation end up joined. Fold the map so that each two stars end up joined. Does it mean that A should join B or AB should join these two? Like, what is it saying to do? And then that's going to give us, once we do, count the stars in each sector. Okay. I don't get it. Answer. Each star sector contains one planetary symbol arranged according to the sequence of the 3 planets at the bottom of the expedition log page. The number of stars in each are 8, 9, and 3, respectively. Okay, so the chat seems to get it a little bit. Somehow we are folding this such that we get quadrants. Such that, I mean, this is complete nonsense to me, but it seems like the chat has made some sense of it somehow. Tape it together and fold it. All right, I'm going to do this. I must admit, I'm not happy. I'm feeling rather angry at this puzzle, to be honest. But let's humor the chat, since someone seems to... I mean, I don't even know how you can figure this out while you're looking at it, but all right. So the pages have been taped together again. Now, we're going to spend a minute with the chat trying to communicate how to 3-dimensionally fold a piece of paper through a 10-second delay on YouTube. But there's a very high likelihood that this is going to just get the anger up to a 10 and fail. So I don't think this is going to work, but these two are going to be aligned. But I don't know if you're trying to suggest that they should be folded this way, like this, to align this with this. And this one should be folded to be on top of this, like this. And then maybe the idea here is that we've got areas. No, okay. 8, 9, and 3. I mean, there's nothing coming in from the chat, so it cannot be done. Okay. We've solved it. Touching the carved stars on the surface on the door, I shifted them into alignment. With a satisfying click, the door unlocked. Okay, next page 9. I can't do it. I can't do it. The chat is trying to somehow... No, I can't do it. The best we can do now is try not to go onto full tilt. So the best we can hope for now is put that puzzle in the past, try to take a deep breath, and move on. Somehow it seemed like people in the chat wanted to explain how to do it, but then didn't. All right. So we're just going to let that one go. Just going to take the loss there. All right. You've successfully solved this symbol. All right. Next, page 9. So we've gotten into the servants' hall. In the spacious servants' hall, the fireplace, cold and unused for decades, has found an unconventional use. A chess table was stored inside it, likely to save space. There's a chess table inside the fireplace. And here is the chessboard. 2 pieces are missing from the board. One here and one here, the king and queen. The white king and queen are missing. And that's a puzzle. All right, so now the chat is saying you don't need to fold it. Just draw lines in between it. Well, that would have been nice to know many minutes ago. So it looks like we've got the piece here. It's going to help us dig out. From the rubble. Pushed against the far wall of the room, I found a wheelbarrow, likely left behind by the construction workers John had hired for the renovations. All right, so probably this is what we need to combine with the shovel to dig out the ceiling. So somehow these are combining on this, but maybe we'll put that aside for a second. Feels like maybe we know we've got enough to solve this, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that's gonna go. All right, so there's the chess table, and then there's this, which doesn't seem to have any explanation where it's coming from. Just a card. So no explanation for this. Where it is, where it's found, nothing. Is that right? Okay. So we don't even know. All right, let's just take a look at what we've got here. The back of this card's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It sounds, I mean, we could connect these and see if we get anything. All right, well, that looks like a 2. That has any relevance to anything, I don't know. Is this something we can solve now? I don't know. And then how are we supposed to make sense of this puzzle? It seemed like we were going to end up with something that gave us only 3 digits when we were done. But these don't fit together. So how are we supposed to make sense of this? These have to go on top of each other. What's the idea here? I mean, we could put these in one at a time. If they just go right side up, this only has one way to go. 5, 6, 1, 5, 9, 7, 3, 8. And then if this went on top, then we do get 3 digits. Is that what all we're meant to do? All right, I'm going to try this because I'm not going to spend an hour messing with it if this is in fact the answer. But I have no idea if it is. So what is our puzzle here? There's our puzzle. Is the answer 5, 6, 8? Yes. Using the shovel and wheelbarrow, I quickly cleared the collapsed ceiling rubble, unveiling what lay hidden beneath. Take the next page 10. So we still don't know what to do in the servants' hall. But we're going to put that aside. All right. November 2nd, 1922. Okay, we're back to our current time. To whomever may find this, if you're reading this, then you are as entangled in this manor's dark web as I am. The doll you have undoubtedly come across in this dismal basement is not what it seems. I have uncovered things, terrible things, about what Samuel attempted to do. The presence in the manor grows stronger by the day, and I fear it is tied to the doll's missing head. Ignore the trap door for now. Find the doll's head before leaving. With urgency, John. That's our friend, John. All right, so we've got a whole bunch of numbered keys. Those look a little familiar. All of these rooms had keys that were matching it, right? Like, look, this one matches this. I wonder if we are going to need to make a path out or something. Okay, then we have 2 puzzles, and he says, don't mess with the trap door yet. Outline of a trap door in the ceiling was offering a way out to the first floor. A recently written note on the table by the stairs caught my attention, which was that. All right, so don't mess with this yet. But here we have the kitchen door, which is there, the door into the kitchen. So we just got past this. There's the trap door, and there's the kitchen. Kitchen door was secured with 3 padlocks of different sizes, an unusual level of protection suggesting that what lay behind was more significant than typical kitchen fare. All right. Well, we have these on our various other rooms. I have a whole bunch of keys from all the different rooms. They match up with these keys. But do they match up in any meaningful way? Like, can we identify what key this one is? This one looks like this one. I don't know if the rest of them can be identified. Now, I see also that there's some dots here that look weird. Like, these dots look weird. These nail patterns. Okay. So we've got keys. If we can figure out which key goes to which lock. I don't know how to do that though. And we've got this one, which we have never used yet. Looks like it says a 2 here. Is that a clue about something? And then we haven't figured out this chessboard puzzle. We do have another key here. Got a whole bunch of keys. Are we supposed to be able to identify which key this is by its style? We've got like one style with rivets, one style that's very plain, and one with lots of flourishes around it. But that doesn't feel like it's identifying uniquely here. Like, where would the rivet one be? And then clearly the fact that these keys have been on other cards feels like it's significant. Is there some sense of knowing what room they belong in that should help us? Like, this key was here. How does that help us? And is it even time to solve that puzzle, or should we be solving the chessboard puzzle? How would you get a 3-digit Jonathan has an interesting idea. Your idea is to use the other keys to eliminate them, huh? But then that still wouldn't give us the order, but we can see if that makes any sense. So your idea is to find the keys. So we've seen this key in the storeroom. We've seen this key on the tree. We've seen this key on the collapsed ceiling. We've seen this key at the servants' hall. We've seen this key here. That leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 keys that we haven't seen according to my records. Okay, well, there's that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 keys seen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That leaves 4 keys not seen. Even if we got rid of one more of these, I still don't see how we would know what order they go into here. But it's possible that we're not meant to do this puzzle yet. Are we in a position to do the chessboard puzzle? So here's the king. How would we get... How would we get 3 digits from this? Just take a closer look at this. Uh, Find the doll's head. Ignore the trapdoor for now. I have an idea for the chess puzzle. Do you want to hear it? I sure do. I sure do. I mean, we have a missing king, and here's the king's card. I feel like maybe we need to get the queen's card to solve this, which would mean we can't do this yet. But we have his name here, Charles. All right, let's hear Jonathan. I think we need the queen first, but I think the three numbers are 1 for the row, 2 is king, so we need the queen. Yeah, okay, that makes a little bit of sense. I'm not sure, but it does seem like it's reasonable to suspect that we need the queen card, so we're not ready to do it yet. Which would mean we need to be able to do this puzzle to get into the kitchen. Is there something about the kitchen? Hmm. What about the fact that the lock on the storage door matches this lock? So that means the middle key is this key, which is a 2. Then we can ask ourselves about this pattern being on one of our key doors. There's all of my key doors. So we've used that one, but we haven't used that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all. All right, so that one, that lock matches that lock, so we use this key. And the question is, there's nothing on this keys. This is just a tree with an arch. No lock here. This doesn't seem like it has anything. Oh. So this hole kind of looks like this. Is that really the way to answer this? Surely not. Surely that is not the way to get that that's a 0. Then what about that one? Oh, this is unpleasant. The bar, the 3 padlocks, sort of looks like a key itself. Does it match any keys from the lock? An interesting idea, although I don't know what we would do if that matches one of the keys. You seem to be saying like this shape is a key shape. But I don't know what you would do with that. Let's say you did find it matched one of the keys. That would give you 1 digit. Could the first lock go with the star map door? You're saying it would go with this door for what reason? Because there's dots around it? Langton is on his key removal idea. Okay, well, if you tried to get this background to look like one of these keys, on what basis would you pick which key it is? This one? I suppose it looks a bit like this one. At least this part does. A little bit. And that key is missing. All right, so if you wanted to say this key was this key, and thus it eliminated this key, and thus there's 3 keys that aren't eliminated, and then what? You put them in order from left to right, top to bottom? This is just insanity. Okay. We're gonna pretend that we think the kitchen door is next. Okay, so I've told it that the kitchen door is next, and if you look, you can see it doesn't want to give me a hint. So that must mean that we can't do the kitchen door next. So maybe it is forcing us to do the chessboard next, and that we don't know how to do the kitchen door. If I tell it that I want to do the chessboard, it says you have to unlock other symbols before this one. Okay, so chessboard's not ready yet. That's what we were guessing before. But then if we go to the kitchen door, it says nothing. I guess that's not the puzzle for the kitchen door. It looks a lot like it, but the kitchen door is this one. Okay, so it wants us to do the kitchen door next. I'm going to click hint. I'm not going to click hint. Jonathan says, if we have 3 keys left, I would suggest order is achieved by matching key length by size of the padlock. The order, large, small, medium. Where are you getting this from? The order you want to put in is what? Large, small, medium. I don't understand on what basis you're coming up with these things. All right, pretend that we get rid of this because it's this. Then we've got 3 numbers left. This 9, this 4, this 5. And the whole point of getting rid of these is you think that these are the ones that we haven't seen yet. 9, 4, 5. So should we put the order in 9, 4, 5, or you've got some better way to put it in? Tony Granat says, oh, put this large key in, then the small key, then the medium key. The large key, the small key, and the medium. You mean the reason for that is because you want to go left to right? Or you somehow think that order makes some sense? Or should it be in this order, medium, small, large? I mean, I'm just going to put this in order that it's here. You can let me know if you've got a better idea, and then I'm going to get some hints before I lose my fucking mind. Just going to put in 9, 4, 5. Okay, it doesn't like that. Hint 1. Which are the 3 keys on the board you have not seen before? Okay, so Jonathan was right in his idea that it's 3 keys we haven't seen. Is it possible that there's some other key on some other sheet? Okay, so there is another key here on the cupboard. It actually happens to be the same one. that we thought looked like it. So Jonathan's theory was right. Okay. So now that we've got 3 keys, the 9, the 4, the 5. But when we put 9, 4, 5 in there, it didn't budge. So Jonathan was right. Match keys with size of the padlock. Okay. So Jonathan is saying go with the medium key, then the small key, then the large key. All right, let's try it. Medium, small, large would be 5, 4, 9. Well, Jonathan was right. With 3 keys in hand, I successfully unlocked the kitchen door. Look at the next page. All right, let's take a break. All right, we're back. Jonathan has saved us from the last puzzle. I feel like this is not my best showing today. I feel like I'm letting this get to me a little bit. Feeling under the weather, but we will persist. All right, so we've gotten another page unlocked. There's only one more left after this, so we are almost at the end here. Let's see what we got. We've got another card, which is what we expected, actually, for the king and queen. So I think we know basically how to do that puzzle. Okay, let's read what we've got. We've gotten access to the kitchen. The kitchen, despite its once warm and bustling past, now lay damp and musty. Among the neglected counters, I discovered an old letter and a playing card. So there's the old letter. Let's read it. Dear Emma, the gardens thrive, and yet, as I plant the curious seeds Master Arthur has brought from abroad, I cannot help but feel uneasy. These foreign sprouts are not meant to root in our English soil. Since their return, Samuel is always with the master, closer than a butler ought to be. It does not sit right with me the way he is almost like one of them now. But let us set aside such matters. It is our quiet moments away from prying eyes that I look forward to. Your company, the honest work of your kitchen, that is the solace I seek at day's end. Until then, Thomas, 12 July 1842. So this Emma is not the wife of the master. It's just the cook or something. Thomas and Emma. And Samuel is acting suspicious. All right. So in addition to the card, which is of the Queen Rachel, and we've got a little connect the dots thing here, which looks like it's going to give us an, well, I guess we have to do it, whether it's an 8 or a 3. Let's see. Looks like 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, 8, 9, 10, 17. Well, what is the 17? What does that mean? If it's an 11, then I guess we have an 8. Although, boy, it could be clearer. It could be clearer if it wants to be an 8. All right, doesn't matter. Let's look at this safe door. MA goes to JH. At least we have an arrow now. Not an equal sign, which is a terrible way of saying you should connect two things. Surprisingly, where the pantry once was, a massive safe door now stood, firmly sealed. Its metallic sheen and intricate lock were starkly prominent against the kitchen's decay. So there's the pantry, and instead of a door into the pantry, we've got this massive lock. All right, well, let's not try to solve this yet, because it feels like probably this is the one we can solve now. All right. So on a chessboard, do the kings face each other, or is it symmetric? Is it king, queen? I guess that's the king. Is it? So is it like that, or is it reversed? Well, there's only two options. We think the 3 digits then are going to white queen is on D. Okay. So we think maybe that the password is 1, and then the queen's number, which is 8, and then the king's number, which is 2. So 182. I guess. I don't love it, but I'm not sure why we wouldn't take a guess at it. Okay, if you think this is wrong, you can please feel free to say what you think is the right answer and why. While moving the chess pieces across the board, I suddenly heard a click. A secret compartment in the chessboard table opened, revealing a letter and a mechanical drawing. Okay, so this is our last page. No, actually, there's one more after this. I was wrong that this was our last one. All right, this looks pretty cool. It would look more exciting if I wasn't feeling like I was facing death at each breath. All right, we've got a letter here. Let's read it. My dearest Thomas, as I write to you, the kitchen is filled with the scent of rosemary and thyme, yet it does little to lift the heavy air that has settled over the manor since the tragedy. Poor Lady Eleanor, a figure of grace and strength in better times, now roams the halls like a lost spirit, a shadow of her former self. In all my years at the manor, I've never seen such a profound transformation brought by grief. She is consumed by an ocean of sorrow, and my heart aches deeply for her immeasurable loss. Sounds like maybe they lost their daughter. Samuel wears his guilt like a cloak, though no one speaks of it directly. There's a shadow in his eyes that wasn't there before. I fear he believes there was more he could have done, a sentiment I know you share. The house has lost its joy, longing for the days when laughter echoed through its halls. For now our secret meetings are my only comfort. Yours in sorrow and longing, Emma. 24 February 1843. Okay, so this is the cook and one of the servants talking, and they're talking about this woman and some tragedy. Okay, and then here we have this diagram of this safe door that has a hint on it, MA to JM. MA to JH. MAJH. Is that a shift? Let's just take a look. If M goes to J, then A does not go to H. Okay, so it's not simple shift. All right, let's take a look. We do have letters here. MA goes to JH. JH. Hargrave Security Solutions. Model, see front of safe, brass, steel, assembly detail. So I don't see that there are things. So I need a 3-digit code here. What else do we see? MAJH. This is really the only puzzle to work on. Is there some clue that we can see by looking at this? I don't think so. MA to JH. MA goes to JH. I mean, you could rotate it. You wouldn't quite get there, though. You'd expect to get somewhere around here. So what is that trying to say? Okay, DJ Moneycut says, I see an obvious guess. Go for it. Let's hear it. If you're going to say 781, it can't be. Can't be that simple. Can't be that simple. Everyone is saying 781. It surely cannot be right. I mean, we'll try it. It is obvious, but it seems like it's got to be wrong. Everyone says try it. Okay, we'll try it. We'll try it, and if it's right, we're not going to be happy. I'm certainly not going to be happy. So, is that the puzzle? No, although it looks very similar to it. This is the puzzle. Okay, and 781. Surely this is not going to be right. I turn the dial of the safe lock to the number 781 with a satisfying click. With an unsatisfying click, the safe door swung open, revealing the long-forgotten interior of an old pantry. Take the next page. Well, at least we tried it rather than sit there for an hour trying to be clever. All right. Now we do have, for real, the last page. It's the doll's head. All right, let's read what we've got here. We're in the pantry. It's mostly empty. It says, the pantry was pristine and empty with only a single box lying on the floor as a sign of its past youth. Inside the box, resting on a nest of crumpled paper, was the doll's head. Now we have receipt of purchase. March 12, 1843, from Bancroft Toy and Doll Company. Customer Samuel Thorne. Custom crafted porcelain doll with the following specifications: finest porcelain, hand painted facial features, realistic glass eyes, human hair wig blonde. Mr. Thorne has expressly requested that the doll be an accurate representation of the provided picture of a young girl, capturing her essence and features with the utmost perfection, precision, and care. 25 pound. Paid in full. Okay. So, we don't have a puzzle, but surely this is wanting us to put this somehow, give this to the doll to give it a head. And we have a number, but what puzzle is this? Was there a puzzle that we didn't put the code in, or is there a doll's head puzzle that wants us to solve this puzzle? Is there a puzzle that we didn't solve? Anyone? Oh, the trapdoor. Okay, so we were told to not do the trapdoor till the end. So here we have the trapdoor, which matches up with that puzzle. Okay, so we're giving the girl her... We're giving the doll... I think there's some sense in which... It has to be exactly down the middle or something. Really not. Okay, it's probably going to be these buttons, don't you think? It's going to be these 3 buttons. So if we give the doll its head and then we look at the buttons, we get 6, 0, 8. So I'm going to guess that the trap door is 6, 0, 8. Now, and it says, was he reviving the child with the Mesopotamian magic or something? She turned into some Walking Dead, tiny footsteps. That's a good theory. Maybe he blamed himself for not being able to make a herbal remedy for the girl. Maybe he did make a herbal remedy, but he poisoned her by mistake, because in the notes there was a caption to be careful with one, and that's why he felt guilty. That's an interesting idea. All right, well, let's try to get out of here at least. As I reattached the doll's head, its previously vacant eyes began to close slowly, bringing a serene quiet to the basement. The ancient tree stirred in response with a faint glow pulsing from the hollow in the trunk where the doll had been found. In that moment, 2 ethereal figures briefly emerged. A bird perched among the upper branches and a serpent entwined within the root below, both exuding an aura of ancient mystery. Congratulations, you've completed the 2nd episode of this escape room game. Get the 3rd episode above. Shadows. Well, I'm glad to be out of the basement. All right, well, a mixed bag. I still like this creepy story. A couple puzzles I was not thrilled with, and a couple of them seemed like trivial, like they weren't even puzzles, and a little bit thin. I mean, actually, we had a fair amount of narrative, but it felt like it was jumping around. Like, it was weird how Samuel feels guilty. Seems like he was the devil and bad and hasn't aged, and yet here he was trying to help the girl. So I don't really get it. Clearly, my throat is bothering me. Good work to everyone. Any comments from the chat before we wrap this up? Now, we're not going to be playing the next 2 chapters until next week. Let's see. John says, I like the story more in chapter 2. I agree with that. Did not expect the ancient Mesopotamian twist with the angel devil imagery in the 1st chapter. I agree with you. I agree that the story was more interesting, and now I want to hear what happened. I hope we get it. And I do like the ancient tie-in. I am curious to hear how that will go. some of the puzzles I don't understand. Like there was that whole elaborate safe with this interesting diagram, and we were just reading the 3 numbers. That was an odd choice. All right, I'm gonna sign off here, get some sleep. Probably we won't meet tomorrow, but on Friday, Mockery Manor in 2 days. I hope I'm feeling a little bit better. I'll see you then.